Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel CS Tunnel. I am Abhishek Shekhawat. In this video, we are going to discuss a brief overview and a few topics of a computer graphics which are mentioned in our video caption. So let's get started. Starting from the introduction of a computer graphics, graphical interface have replaced textual interfaces as the standard means for user-computer interaction. Graphics has become a key technology for communicating ideas, data, and trends in most areas of science, engineering, commerce, and education. There is virtually no area in which graphical displays cannot be used for to some advantage, and so it is not surprising to find the use of computer graphics so widespread. Let's study some application of computer graphics. Application of a computer graphics are as follows. In education and training, computer-generated models of physical, financial, and economic systems are often used as educational aids. Models of physical systems, physiological systems, population trends, or equipment can help trainers to understand the operation of the system. For some training applications, special systems are designed, which are as follows, like flight simulator. Disadvantages are fuel saving, safety, ability to memorize the training with a large number of world airports. In electronic industry, an integrated circuit can be designed at a very low cost as compared to manual designed ICs. It will take a very small time and effort to modify or to change the IC again. Its uses in biology. Molecular biologists can display pictures of molecules and gain insight into the structure with the help of computer graphics. Town planners and transportation engineers can use computer-generated maps which display data useful for planning their work. In entertainment industry, computer graphic methods are now commonly used in making motion pictures, music videos, and television shows. In visualization, scanning the large set of information in numerical form to determine the trends and relationship is a tedious and a very ineffective process. But if the data are converted into the visual form, the trends and the patterns are often immediately apparent. Graphic display devices. The operation primary display device in a graphic system is a video monitor. The operation of most video monitors on the display standard is standard cathode ray tube CRT design, which are as follows. As you can see in this diagram, it consists of electron gun on the left side, which mainly consists of a three component control grid, cathode, heating element. It consists of a focusing system which is used to create a clear picture by focusing the electrons into a narrow beam. It have a deflection yoke system which is used to control the direction of the electron beam, and the main part is CRT screen on the right side of a CRT tube which is coated with a phosphorus on which electron beam is projected by electron gun which tends to glow the phosphorus coating on a CRT screen. A heated cathode emits a high-speed electrons beam onto the phosphorus-coated glass screen. The electrons give the energy to the phosphorus coating. It will glow at the points where the beam makes a contact. By focusing the electron beam, changing its intensity and controlling its point of contact against the phosphorus coating through the use of a deflector system, the beam can be made to generate a picture on the CRT screen. Now, the components of a CRT. The main component of a CRT is electron gun. Electron gun consists of a series of components, primarily a heating element and a cathode. The electron gun creates a source of electrons which are focused into a narrow direction at the face of a CRT. Next component of a CRT is control electrode. It is used to turn the electron beam on and off. Focusing system. It is used to create a clear picture by focusing the electrons into a narrow beam. Deflection yoke. It is used to control the direction of the electron beam. It creates an electric or a magnetic field which will bend the electron beam as it passes through the field. The most important part of a CRT is phosphorus coated screen. The inside front surface of every CRT is coated with a phosphorus. Phosphorus glow when they are hit by high energy electron beam. All phosphorus have a limited life. which is a function of both the amount of time it is exposed to the electron beam and the intensity of the electron beam. Properties of a video monitor. The first property of a video monitor is persistence. Persistence is the duration of a phosphorescence. Lower persistence phosphorus requires a higher refresh rate to maintain a picture on the screen without flicker. A phosphorus with low persistence is useful for animation, and a high persistence phosphorus is useful for displaying high complex and static pictures. Resolution is another property of video monitor. The number of pixels per unit length, example inch, in the horizontal as well as the vertical direction is referred to resolution. Now moving on to aspect ratio. It is the ratio of its width to its height. It is measured in unit length or number of pixels. Now the advantages of CRT. It have a realistic image, million different colors to be generated, shadow screens are possible. Now moving on to the disadvantages of CRT. Relatively expensive compared with other technologies, relatively poor resolution, light of the shadow mask CRT, which means mask tends to be block a large proportion of the available beam energy, which results in reducing the brightness. Convergence problem is another disadvantage of CRT, which means it is extremely difficult to adjust the three guns and the deflection system so that the electron beams are exactly deflected together, all three converging on the same hole in the shadow mask. Moving on to the next display device, which is a direct view storage tube or a DVST. DVST terminals also use the random scan approach to generate the image on the CRT screen. The term storage tube refers to the ability of the screen to retain the image which has been projected against it, thus avoiding the need to rewrite the image constantly. Two electron guns are used in DVST. One is the primary gun, it is used to store the picture pattern. The second is the flood gun, which is used to maintain the picture display. As you can see in this diagram, this is a primary gun, this is a flood gun, and this is the flood electrons and the electron beam, which is in a straight line. Now moving on to the advantages of DVST. No refreshing is needed. Very complex pictures can be displayed at a very high resolution without flicker. It have a high resolution, cost is very less. Image on the screen will be visible for up to an hour before it fades. Now moving on to the disadvantages of a DVST. It does not display color. Selected parts of a picture cannot be erased. Erasing and redrawing process can take several seconds for a complex picture. Now moving on to next display device, the flat panel displays. The flat panel display refers to a class of video devices that have reduced volume, weight, and a power requirement as compared to the CRT. You can hang them on walls or wear them on wrists. Current uses for flat panel displays include calculators, pocket devices, video games, monitors, laptop computers, and graphic displays. There are two categories of flat panel displays. First is emissive displays, for example, plasma panels and LEDs. The emissive display are the display devices that converts electrical energy into light. The second one is non-emissive displays, for example, LCD. The non-emissive display uses optical effects to convert sunlight or a light from some other source into a graphic patterns. Moving on to the another display device, which are plasma panels or a gas dischargeable panels displays. Plasma panels are constructed by filling the region between two glass plates with a mixture of gases that usually includes neon. A set of vertical fine wires is attached on a one glass panel and a set of horizontal fine wires is attached on the other glass panel. As you can see in this diagram, set of glass plates and a set of conductors filled with a gas which is neon. Now moving on to the advantages of plasma panels. It have a high resolution, large screen size is also possible, less volume required, less weight, thinner than CRT. The images are much brighter than on a CRT. Flicker-free display is in plasma panels. Now moving on to the disadvantage of plasma panels, the technology is very expensive. It uses a lot of power. Does not show sharp contrast. Now moving on to the next display device, thin film electroluminescent displays. There are similar in construction to a plasma panel. The difference is that the region between the glass plates is filled with a phosphorus instead of a gas. As you can see in this diagram, the gas is replaced by the phosphorus between the set of a glass plates and the set of a conductors. Now moving on to the next display device, which is LED, light emitting diode. In LED, a matrix of a diode is arranged to form the pixel position in the display, and picture definition is stored in a refresh buffer. Information is read from the refresh buffer and converted to voltage levels that are applied to the diodes to produce light patterns in the display. Now moving on to the LCDs, liquid crystal display. Liquid crystal displays are the devices that produce a picture by passing the polarized light from the surroundings or form an internal light source through a liquid crystal material that transmits the light. LCD uses the liquid crystal material between the two glass plates, each containing a light polarizer of right angles to the other plate. Rows of horizontal transparent conductors are built into the one glass plate, and the columns of a vertical transparent conductor are built into the other plate. This is a diagram of LCD in on state and off state. Now moving on to the advantages of LCD, it low power is required, smaller in size, low cost. Now moving on to the disadvantages of LCD. LCD can be viewed only from a limited angle. LCDs are temperature dependent. LCD do not emit light. As a result, the image has a very little contrast. LCD have no color capability. Enough for today's lecture. I will make a separate video on a technology to generate image in CRT. Thank you for watching my channel. If it is useful for you guys, so please like, subscribe and share my channel for latest updates.